circulatory system and structure of heart. Circulatory system is a group of organs that transport the blood and other substances to and from all parts of body. It includes heart, arteries, veins, capillaries. For a better understanding, this system can be studied under the different heads in the next slides. It is made up of cardiac muscles that pumps blood through the blood vessels of the circulatory system. It is divided into 4 chambers: upper left and right atria, and lower left and right ventricles. For more details, see animation on next slide.
The heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the body. Observe the model of mammalian heart. Observations: the heart is located between the 2 lungs and behind the sternum. It is conical in shape, with its narrow apex tapering downward. It is surrounded by a membrane called pericardium. Mammalian heart consists of 4 chambers, 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. The right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. The left auricle receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. There is an interatrial septum between the 2 auricles. The right ventricle receives deoxygenated blood from the right auricle. The left ventricle receives oxygenated blood from the left auricle. There is an interventricular septum between the 2 ventricles. The opening between the atrium and the ventricle is guarded by a valve called anteroventricular valve. The right anteroventricular valve consists of 3 cusps and are called tricuspid valve. The left anteroventricular valve consists of 2 cusps and is called bicuspid valve. The pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs. The pulmonary veins carries oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. The aorta carries oxygenated blood from heart to rest of the body.
Of the heart. The circulation of blood throughout the body mainly depends upon the heart. Systematic circulation has greater force and pulmonary circulation has lesser force.
The flow of blood within the body is called blood circulation. Heart is the main pumping organ of the circulatory system. The human heart is divided into 4 chambers with 2 separate atria and 2 separate ventricles. Let us see how blood flows through heart. During blood circulation, the deoxygenated blood from our body returns to the right atrium of the heart. Blood from the upper part of the body returns to heart through superior vena cava. Blood from the lower part of the body returns through inferior vena cava. As the right atrium is filled with blood, it contracts. The tricuspid valve opens and blood is pumped into the right ventricle of the heart. When the right ventricle is filled, the tricuspid valve closes to prevent blood from flowing back into the atrium. Now as the right ventricle contracts, the pulmonary valve opens and blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery, which carries blood to the lungs for oxygenation. The pulmonary valve closes to prevent blood from flowing back into the ventricles, while pumping the blood into the pulmonary artery. The oxygenated blood from lungs return to the left atrium of the heart through the pulmonary veins. When the left atrium is filled with oxygenated blood, it contracts and mitral valve opens and blood is pumped into the left ventricle. This occurs at the same time as the right atrium pumps blood into the right ventricle on the other side of the heart. When the left ventricle is filled with blood, the mitral valve closes. Now left ventricle contracts and aortic valve or semilunar valves open. The oxygenated blood is pumped into the aorta, which distributes oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. This happens at the same time as the right ventricle pumps blood into the pulmonary artery on the other side of the heart. The aortic valve quickly closes to prevent blood from flowing back to the left ventricle. Meanwhile, both the atria start getting filled with blood, and in this way, cardiac cycle continues.
The arteries are the blood vessels that deliver oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the tissues of the body. These may be divided into three categories: elastic arteries, muscular arteries, thick-walled arteries. The veins return the blood to the heart. These are less muscular than arteries and are often closer to the skin. The largest veins in the human body are the venae cavae. These are minute vessels that connect the arterioles with venules. There are three types of capillaries. Continuous capillaries. These are found in the central nervous system. Fenestrated capillaries. These are found in the rental organ, intestines, etc. Sinusoidal capillaries. These are found in the liver, bone marrow, etc. Capillaries. In the capillaries, exchange of materials takes place. They bring nutrients and oxygen to tissues and remove waste products. The greater the metabolic activity of the tissue, the denser the capillary nets. Of circulatory system. Heart circulates the blood throughout the body. Blood carries digested food to all parts of the body. Blood regulates the body temperature. Blood carries waste products to the kidney for excretion. Veins bring the impure blood to the heart from every part of the body. If you are a regular runner, you can't know your body's behavior during physical exertion. You can't control or even predict anything. Let's try to understand two such changes, that is, oxygen debt and second wind in the next slides. Oxygen debt and second wind. In other words, the amount of oxygen taken by an athlete during the recovery period after strenuous activity is called oxygen debt. The amount of extra oxygen required to oxidize lactic acid in the muscles built up during vigorous exercise, and it has to breathe deeper and faster. The oxygen also facilitates aerobic cellular respiration to replenish adenosine triphosphate, ATP. There are three main sources that provide a continuous supply of ATP: creatine phosphate, glycolysis, oxidative phosphorylation, citric acid. During rest, ATP is again stored in the muscles for activities. Lactic acid is removed approximately in 1 hour if cooling down is performed properly. When we participate in long-distance races or play hockey, etc., after some time the breathlessness is removed automatically by our body. It is called as second wind. Discomfort that we face in the beginning includes the following symptoms: breathlessness, pain in chest, headache, pain in muscles, feeling of reduced physical efficiency, diminished. Changes in our body due to second wind. It may be the following: breathlessness disappears, muscles become normal, change in blood circulation system. Test yourself. A group of organs that transport the blood and other substances to and from all parts of body is called A. Respiratory system, B. Circulatory system, C. External respiration, D. Internal respiration. B. Circulatory system. Explanation. Circulatory system is a group of organs that transport the blood and other substances to and from all parts of body. It includes heart, arteries, veins, capillaries. Is the chapter. Human anatomy is the study of structure, shape, size, weight, and location of all the organs of human body. Human physiology is the study of human body and they are mutual. Human anatomy and physiology help in multitude of ways in the field of sports and games. Skeletal system is a combination of various bones, but respiratory system is a system that regulates the exchange of gases. Of organs that transport the blood and other substances to and from all parts of body. It includes heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. The amount of oxygen taken by an athlete during the recovery period after strenuous activity is called oxygen debt. The breathlessness caused due to prolonged exercises is removed automatically by our body. It is called as second wind.